First Union Center, a capacity crowd better than 20,000 turning out for Game 5 of this best of 7. And we'll check out the starting lineups first for the visiting New Orleans Hornets. The backcourt of Baron Davis coming off a sensational game the other night in New Orleans. David Wesley at the other guard. Jamal Mashburn, surprisingly, is back despite the dislocated finger. Up front with Jamal McGlure and P.J. Brown. For the Philadelphia 76ers, Eric Snow, who was the star of the game on Monday night. 17 points, 12 assists, 6 rebounds, 5 steals. Allen Iverson shot just 9 for 28, although he hit some big buckets down the stretch. Keith Van Horn, Derek Coleman, and Kenny Thomas up front. And the officials, Dan Crawford, Jim Clark, and Monty McCutcheon. And right here, we'll go to Cheryl Miller. Cheryl?
Thanks a lot, Marv. Well, before the game, I spoke to Jamal Mashburn, who voiced a lot of concerns about tonight's game because of that injured middle finger. The biggest problem, he said, will be his shot. Now, what the problem lies is Mashburn's middle finger has absolutely no strength. So he relies so heavily on the index finger down to the pinky finger that he's basically down to 3 fingers, which will not only affect the rotation of his shot, but his range. He did tell me he will not take any threes, but despite the fact that he's in a lot of pain and that he's going to be extremely limited on his shot, he said the best cure tonight would be a win. So let's bounce it out there to Danny Crawford. Mark?
That is the game balls are. I think that should be part of the format on a regular basis during our telecast, that Cheryl gets the feel of the ball and hands it to the officiating crew.
I don't see anything wrong with shooting. That's how you used to shoot it all the time. One of your fingers tucked underneath.
Exactly.
You always look a little bit unusual.
So Jamal Mashburn in the starting lineup. We were talking about that earlier with the head coach, Paul Silas. He said he was amazed, but he leaves it up to the player. If the player feels he can play, he says, okay. And here's Jamal with it, being guarded by Thomas.
You know, my concern right from the front is so many players nowadays want to slap down as McGlure goes inside, tries to get himself going after a real tough game. Davis on the offensive board with a second shot, and here's the third shot opportunity for the Hornets. Their big front line asserting themselves. P.J. Brown finishing it off.
You know, I really enjoy your play-by-play.
Thank you. I thought I'd just jump in there for a second.
And a foul is called on Davis.
Going back, Mark, so many players nowadays use that swipe where they bring the hand through on the defensive end and try and slap the ball out of the offensive player's hands. That would be my concern with Mashburn, that somebody gets him on one of those swipes and really puts him in a lot of pain.
Iverson looking baseline, shooting over Wesley, and rebounded by Mashburn. And Mashburn leads it for Wesley. Wesley. Van Horn with the rebound. Keith Van Horn played 43 minutes the other night in Game 4. Here is Thomas.
I hate to simplify the game for you, but basically this series has come down to 2 things: rebounds and turnovers. The team that protects the ball best, the team that has rebounded best, has won the game. And obviously a great individual performance in Game 1 by Allen Iverson.
Mashburn. So Jamal Mashburn hits on his first attempt, and the Hornets have a 4-0 lead. A live TNT NBA Spanish language feed is now available by SAP.
Probably the best thing that could happen to New Orleans is that Mashburn hits his first shot, because at least Mashburn feels that he can make shots now. His range is going to be limited, but you see him around the foul line area get comfortable with this mid-range jump shot, putting it on the floor with his right hand, elevating, shooting it over the top of Keith Van Horn.
So Van Horn to the line, the foul called on Mashburn. The Hornets going with 2 players who are hanging in despite injuries. Baron Davis with a bone bruise on his left knee. He sat out in Game 2 and then came back very strong down the stretch in Game 3, and then had one of his best games of the season in Game 4 on Monday night. In fact, a career playoff high of 34 points. And Mashburn with the dislocation and chip fracture of the middle finger of his right hand, which is his shooting hand.
So Paul Silas had to make adjustments when Mashburn missed the game because of the broken finger. He wound up going to a running open court game. He tried to hurry the ball back down the floor. So Philly back up by Iverson on Wesley for a layup. Beautiful job changing direction. Now you got Mashburn back. The question is, do you go back to their set basic offense?
Walking foul is called on Iverson.
It's one way for Wesley to put a little pressure on Iverson, make him defend, take the ball strong to the basket rather than spotting up for the three-point shot, which is the strength of David Wesley.
Eric Snow defending on Baron Davis. And the foul on Thomas as he tried to front. Mashburn, talking with Paul Silas earlier, he was saying that Mashburn actually has trouble, or says he has trouble, passing the ball, not shooting the ball, which is kind of strange. Now, Jamal Mashburn is noted as an excellent team player and a guy who does look to set people up. As Mashburn hits again. Otherwise, you think, hey, that's a likely story. I can shoot, but I can't pass.
Yeah, Coach, I'm having a tough time finding anybody tonight. I see him, but I just can't get the ball to him. So I thought if I just take another 15 shots extra.
Mashburn with a couple of buckets, and now the steal. And Mashburn that time had it slapped away. Last touch by the Sixers.
I see him go to his left hand and advancing the ball. He had it in his right hand, crossed over to his left hand. Perhaps he feels a little more comfortable. See it right there? A little awkward when you're bringing it in front of your body with your left hand, but now he'll protect as he goes down the lane, but not protected too hard with the right hand.
We played 3 minutes of this first quarter. First of our TNT triple header. Here's P.J. Brown able to drill it, and the Hornets have an 8-4 lead.
Philly tries to front the low post. Mallone's job is to flash the opposite big man high, get into that high-low set, which has not been real effective in the first 4 games. That time, very effective.
Iverson dumping it off to Coleman, and it's put home by Thomas.
Sometimes you see Iverson take a bad shot and you go, well, he could get a better shot. But really, when they wind up on the offensive boards that way, it's kind of like an assist, Mark, because he makes other people step up to play and nobody's left to block out.
I know that's the way Allen explains it when the shot is not what the coach would like in terms of shot selection. I'm just trying to get that ball up on the boards.
That's the way Larry Brown explained it also when we were inside talking to him, that sometimes the bad shots are acceptable because it does draw a lot of defenders to him.
And Jamal McGlure called for the foul on Keith Van Horn. Larry Brown was saying, although he was delighted with that 55-point performance in game number 1, perhaps it was not a good thing for Allen Iverson that he was so hot in that first game. Actually, everything he was throwing up was going in because he's come out and he has tried to do the same games 2, 3, and 4.
How about extra responsibilities for Larry Brown? Let alone prepare the team for the playoffs, but then he also has to spend time with the U.S. selection committee for the team that the United States has put together here for the upcoming summer games, which are the qualifying games for next year's Olympics.
And 3 more players were named to the team, including Allen Iverson earlier today.
He has to be on those conference calls when they're making those decisions. He has some say in it, but it does not end with Larry Brown, who he necessarily wants or doesn't want.
All right, Mashburn again. So Jamal 3 for 4 from the field.
This is amazing to me that he can shoot the ball this well after having that finger dislocated on the kick by Eric Snow.
Nice lead pass, and Snow is fouled as Brown and McGlure converge. Foul on Brown.
You know, this is Mashburn's favorite side of the floor. The left side of the floor is where he operates most of the time when they get into their set offensive plays. He's very comfortable when he's down on the left sideline or left baseline, turning back towards that baseline. We saw him put it down a couple dribbles, elevate, and hit that 16, 17-footer.
The New Orleans Hornets in a desperate mode here tonight. They're trying to become the 7th team in the history of the NBA to overcome a 3-1 deficit. Win a best of 7. There is a game 6 It will take place back in New Orleans. You see the pressure by the Sixers. Last touch by Snow. Game 6 would be played back in the Big Easy on Friday night. Good pressure here by the 76ers, and they continue. And now Iverson drops back as Wesley is able to handle.
Do you know who the last team was to come back from a 3-1 deficit? I'll help you if you need help. Miami against.
Here's Iverson.
No, it wasn't Iverson.
Yes, Miami did it against the New York Knicks. Hornets and Sixers tied at 10. Davis, that was a three-point attempt.
Interesting to see now if Baron Davis backs off, because the other night without Mashburn, he was so assertive, taking over, leading this team on the floor. Now with Mashburn back, he tends to defer to Mashburn as being the leader of shots, points on the floor when they're out there together.
Neither club off to a good shooting start. You recall the other night, the 76ers opened up 2 for 15 from the field, but Larry Brown said he was very pleased with the way his team was playing, despite the fact they were not shooting well. They were very aggressive, and they maintained that aggressive personality throughout the night. New Orleans 5 for 13, Philadelphia 2 for 8 here at the start. Foul called on Snow, so Davis to the line. What a performance the other night by Baron Davis. 12 for 19, 5 of 8 from downtown, 34 points, 7 assists. Paul Silas. Oh, Baron coming over there.
We saw that once before last game, didn't we? Only it was from Allen Iverson, who shot the air ball from the foul line. So Baron just returning it so the fans could get into it a little bit, like the New Orleans fans did.
Silas said Baron Davis refusing to come out of the game the other night. Nice play. Second bucket for Iverson. And the Sixers now lead 12-11. Van Horn deflected it out. Last touch by the Sixers.
Larry Brown has concentrated now over the last day and a half on pick-and-roll defense, because New Orleans went to so many pick-and-rolls against the Sixers with Mashburn out of there that he felt they had to do a better job and not let the ball penetrate even inside.
Good call by Mashburn, but Wesley not able to handle the pass. And a reaching foul is called. Davis getting a piece of Iverson from behind. Foul limit with 6 minutes, 7 seconds to go in this first quarter. And a timeout taken. It's the Sixers by 1. Paul Sato said that Jamal did show some rust at practice yesterday after missing the 2 games, but he was surprised that he could shoot as well as he did at practice, and he comes out, hits 3 for 4.
Silas sounded shocked. I mean, they thought he might shoot some free throws, and that was about it. When Mashburn said he wanted to go live, it completely took the coaching staff by surprise. And going back to McKee, what a 4-game set he's had thus far, shooting 56% from the floor. He's the next shooting threat on the floor for Philadelphia once you get past Allen Iverson.
Paul Silas changing his substitution pattern. Robert Pack, who played so well in Game 3, then did not play in Game 4, has checked in, coming on for Baron Davis. Here's David Wesley from downtown. Kenny Anderson, we're told, is bothered by a neck injury, although he is available. But Pack moving up in the rotation in front of Anderson.
Anderson did not practice yesterday. Baron Davis did not practice yesterday, so that's the reason that Pack is getting minutes.
Van Horn, and the Sixers lead by 2. Mashburn being played by Thomas. Here's McLaurin. Shot clock to 5. with the shot. Rebounded by Thomas. Oh, Brown with the steal. The long arms of P.J. Brown coming up with that steal.
One way of slowing down a fast break in transition game is to jam the rebounder. That was a different kind of jam. He was only about 9 feet off the guy, but still intercepted the pass.
Mashburn again. So Jamal has hit 4 for 5, 8 points. It has been a stellar season for Jamal Mashburn, making the All-Star team for the first time. He's averaged better than 21 points per game. The outside official, Jim Clark, with the call away from the ball. It is on Pack. Robert Pack, a native of New Orleans, in his 12th season out of Southern California.
Stop it right there. If we freeze it right there for a second, you notice that Robert Pack does not want him to come out this side. They're trying to force Iverson to always go out that side, the right side of the floor, as you face the basket. They feel that he's much better if he catches the ball and puts it down with his right hand rather than his left hand. So down on the baseline, you'll see their bodies on the side of Iverson, trying to always make him go out to the right side of the floor as you're facing the basket.
You know, you startled the truck with a stop it right there command. Just screaming at people.
Playoff intensity, that's what it is. Playoff intensity.
18-16, the Sixers with the lead as we come up on 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. And Wesley left his feet and had nowhere to go.
As you remember, in the last game, it was a very close contest, and then back-to-back turnovers by David Wesley. The Sixers capitalizing on both turnovers. Off the 20 turnovers in game number 4, Sixers came up with 23 points. Very critical of the outcome.
Once again, it's Pack chasing Iverson all over the floor. Did so well the other night. Beautiful pass, though, as Iverson found the coming Van Horn.
Great pass that time by Iverson. Good movement by Van Horn without the ball.
Brown, he was triple teamed. There is Mashburn for 3. An incredible start for Jamal Mashburn. He has 11 points. He's 5 for 6 from the field. He also has 2 assists, so he has had a part in 15 of the Hornets' 19 points.
He told Cheryl Miller before the game that he doubted he could even take a 3-point shot. As we see Van Horn hit the 3 because he didn't think he would have the range on it with the broken finger.
Sixers 23 of the Hornets 19. Things picking up here in the first quarter. McClure is fouled. Good lead pass from Pack.
McClure really struggled in game number 4. He was 1 for 7 from the floor. And when he talked to the media about it after the game, he said, you know, I had a hard time recognizing where the double teams were coming from. They really changed up their defenses on me. Sometimes they doubled from different areas. They fronted me in the low post. And as Paul Silas said, look, he's a youngster. Last year, there was no pressure on him coming off the bench behind Elwood Campbell. This year, all the pressure's on him, all 82 games.
Although McClure did play well in games 2 and 3. Now Courtney Alexander will come on for the first time. A reminder, coming up next right here on TNT, it's the Dallas Mavericks looking to advance to the Western semifinals, taking on the Portland Trailblazers, and then the Kings with a 3-1 lead, trying to end the series against the Jazz. All that to be followed by Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai. So this is the first of a TNT playoff triple header. 3 minutes remaining in the first. Iverson. Nice back tap by Coleman, but it's gathered in by Alexander. Alexander did a nice job off the bench the other night, shot the ball well. 5 of 9, 12 points in 18 minutes of play.
Kind of an unusual matchup. Derek Coleman playing Mashburn, and Coleman said, wait a minute, get me off this guy, so he calls for a switch out there right away.
Bonnie Williams, who just came on, is now defending on Mashburn. Here's Brown. It's tipped. So Jamal McClure gets inside, and that ties the game at 23. Iverson and McKee now at the guards with Coleman, Van Horn, and Williams on the front line.
Mark, go back to the last couple games. Larry Brown has gone small in each of those games at critical times, having Snow, Iverson, and McKee on the floor all together.
Here's Van Horn. Rebounded by Coleman. Iverson trying to get it down low. And a foul is called against the the Sixers as Coleman and Brown came together. So the foul on Derek Coleman, that's his second.
Jamal Mashburn had hit his first couple of shots from in close, but then his first venture out to the three-point line proved successful, so the range is there.
His philosophy against Allen Iverson has been to go at him in aggressive fashion. Robert Pack has been particularly successful tonight. 2 fouls, 3 knockdowns.
3 knockdowns. Could be a TKO coming up.
P.J. Brown at the line. 76ers and Hornets tied at 23 with 2 minutes remaining in the first. Tyrone Hill has come on for Derek Coleman, who left after picking up a second foul. Aaron McKee handling against Courtney Alexander. Robert Pack sticking to Allen Iverson. Staying right with him. He was fronting him, not allowing him to get near the basketball. Alexander met by McKee.
Courtney Alexander fired a bullet pass to Mashburn. He was about 4 feet away.
Just tested the finger. Shot clock to 7. Here's Alexander.
He's got an unusual jump shot, Marv. He stops, he cocks the ball, he delays for a second. It's like 2 different stages of jump shot. One, he brings it up, and then he shoots it.
Kind of an extension, and then on the way down, he releases Van Horn. And Keith Van Horn has been very much into the flow. He now has 13 points.
Van Horn shooting just 36% in the first 4 games, 14 to 39 coming into time.
Iverson on the run. Here's McKee with Williams. And you can see Mashburn kind of slid by, did not want to take a chance of making contact with the finger.
Yeah, because it would have been his right hand that he would have had to gone up and block it with.
Van Horn had an outstanding first quarter. Iverson all the way. Rebounded by Monty Williams. Monty Williams making a contribution in New Orleans on Monday night. 76ers lead by 3. We're down to 20 seconds, a 4-second differential between the game clock and shot clock. Mashburn working it down. 3 on the 24. Here's Mashburn. McKee has to hurry. Time running out. Here's McKee. After 1 here in Philadelphia. 76ers with a 29-26 lead. 6-0 run ends the quarter. The story, though, Jamal Mashburn, surprisingly, back in the starting lineup and leads the way for New Orleans with 11. Keith Van Horn, the high point man for the Sixers with 13.
Never appreciate. In fact, you give them away, most of them.
I always value your gifts. Second quarter is underway. Marv Albert with the czar, Mike Fratello, Cheryl Miller. We're in Philadelphia, game 5 of the best of 7. Baron Davis has made his return. Here's Kenny Thomas and George Lynch on it. Lynch checking it for the first time along with Tractor Trailer. So it is P.J. Brown up front with Lynch and Trailer. There's Trailer getting inside. Very difficult to stop Tractor Trailer from that angle.
I mentioned George Lynch. He plays so hard. He gives you so many things from the intangible standpoint. Obviously missing on the inside, but he's just having a problem shooting the ball right now in this series. Just 36%.
Lynch 2 of 11. Back in game 4. Shot clock is down to 4, and Travel called for the foul, and that bails the Sixers out of that possession.
That's a tough call because I'd probably say that tonight you're going to see big men from both teams step out 20 to 25 times. And if the guard dribbles into him like that, there's going to be contact. It's not like Traylor stepped up and knocked him down. He is a tractor trailer, as you said. He's a big guy.
Iverson getting the step on Davis. And Allen Iverson getting the roll. 10 points for Iverson.
Tough decision for Paul Silas now. You have Courtney Alexander or Davis on the floor. Who do you match up against Allen Iverson? Davis with the bad knee. Alexander would have a real tough time playing him. Iverson would go right by him, just like he did Davis just now.
That's not a good matchup for the Hornets.
And Paul Silas just motioned out to Baron Davis. Don't let him go to his right hand. Davis nodded his head. They're trying to force him to his left hand. Coach kind of reminded his point guard what you have to do defensively.
And a defensive 3-second violation called on the 76ers. Alexander able to convert on the technical, and the 76ers now lead 31-29. Davis being played by Iverson with some help as Hill comes over to double. Here's Traylor banging his way on Hill. Last touched by the Sixers.
See one offensive big man making his move to the basket. Traylor, the other guys working their way, trying to roll off blockouts, get second shot opportunities.
New shot clock for New Orleans. Crowd looking for a traveling violation on Davis. Alexander. Traylor with the rebound.
He was falling away when he went to lay it back up and in. He tipped it to himself, started to jump, and was pulling back away from the backboard. That's why he missed that little layup on the inside.
Kenny Thomas feeling for P.J. Brown, and he is fouled. Kenny Thomas very active here at the start. Foul on Brown is his second. Thomas has a superb game, 2, 16 rebounds, 17 points. Foul trouble in game 3 at 11-8 in game 4. Reminder, you can log on to NBA.com or America keyword NBA.com for the exclusive 2003 playoff section featuring live post-game press conferences, photo galleries, video highlights, and more. Love it live on NBA.com. Kenny Thomas acquired in a 3-team deal involving Denver and Houston. He spent 4 years as a member of the Houston Rockets. Sixers now 12 for 12 from the line. Again, you see pressure by Philadelphia.
Moisa almost jumped in the air with nowhere to go. He just guessed that he'd have an open teammate. Got up in the air. Worst thing you do, jump in the air and have nobody open. You look silly. Coming down, links look real good. Finishing that one off. That'll change that 2 for 11. You keep dunking him.
Jerome Moiso, one of the stars for the Hornets in game 3 and the Hornets' lone victory. Come on for the first time. Very quiet. Game 4 on Monday. Here's Hill. And a dribbling violation.
Well, you see a little change up in New Orleans' defense right there. That time they trapped the pick and roll, double teamed it, and rotated. The last couple games they've been trying to trap it and then get back to your own man with the big guy who had trapped, unless it was Van Horn. This time we saw a full rotation.
Wild running hook tossed up by Davis, and back comes McKee. Iverson facing the double. Here's Iverson. Bullet pass for Hill, who is not able to hit it. It's rebounded by Traylor.
Got to try and keep Allen Iverson. Easier said than done. In front of you. You cannot let him keep blowing by the guards on the outside. Too much pressure on the big man.
Oh, nice move by Baron Davis, and the game is tied at 33. Paul Silas telling us earlier that they tried to make Iverson go to his right side. And a foul is called.
Meaning, if you're facing the basket, Marv, they want Iverson to come out the right side if you're facing the basket. If you're underneath the basket, it's left. But Aaron Davis, on the other hand, has also been pretty tough for Philadelphia to contain. He seems to find enough space to create a shot for himself, sometimes making a most difficult one.
Paul Silas in his 5th year as head coach of the Hornets, his 4th full season as a player, a member of 3 NBA championship teams, 2 with Boston, 1 in Seattle, 2-time All-Star, very tough player at the defensive end, off the boards, one of the best rebounders, in fact, in the history of the NBA. Paul Silas will be a free agent after this season, and it remains to be seen as to whether he will continue as head coach of the Hornets or will look to go elsewhere.
Well, Paul Silas has done an excellent job with this team. They have had tremendous turmoil in this program over the last 4 years, 4.5 seasons, dealing with a number of issues. He is the winningest coach in the history of the franchise in his 4.5 seasons. He was offered a contract extension at the beginning of the year. It was not satisfactory. He kind of rolled dice and said, I'm going to kind of put it on the table and see what kind of year we have and gamble that he can do better with the next contract offer. So that's where it stays right now.
Yes, he's done a solid job when you consider what he has dealt with the death of Bobby Bills, a couple of years of friction with Derek Coleman, now a member of the Philadelphia 76ers. 3 huge trades, last year's injuries. Off the steal, here's Iverson, and he is fouled, or was it deflected? Deflected out of his hand. Baron Davis got a piece of it.
Larry Brown grabbed his head. He could not believe that a foul wasn't called here. He kind of loses it right there. I mean, he lost it before there was any contact behind. He'd already lost the ball. Good no call.
Getting back to Silas, he's also dealt with a franchise move. Moiso able to show the outside touch as this team made the move from Charlotte to New Orleans. 14-year run in Charlotte, ending last year in negative fashion.
Marco, certainly was no fun playing the season where people did not want to come to the games. Remember, this was a team that was embraced by the community when they first arrived in Charlotte, leading the league in attendance for a number of seasons consecutively. The second shot opportunity blocked that time by tractor trailer, but then suddenly, when it was learned that the team was going to move, people did not want to come anymore. It's very tough for a coach to motivate the team to play hard every night at home, win your home games when nobody's there, and the ones that are there are yelling at you and going against you.
Keith Van Horn with a strong move is fouled by tractor trailer. Remember, one time Charlotte was a basketball hotbed, and they will have an expansion franchise. They will start up the season after next.
Yeah, and they will have a brand new arena, which was the crux of the whole problem, because ownership had said, we've got to have an arena that has suites so we can make our share of money. Instead of losing money, they didn't want to give it to them. And, you know, the number of players that have gone through this program over the years, Mark, some terrific players, okay? And then when you talk about guys that they have to make a decision on, in the past they had Mourning, obviously, and Johnson. Here are some of the ones right now that are free agents this year, the biggest of which probably the decision on T.J. Brown.
76ers lead 36-35. We come up on 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Brown working now on Brian Skinner. To say McLaurin. Jamal McLaurin with a nice turnaround move. And the Hornets now lead by 1.
Well, they've had pretty good guys come through here. That, you know, Divac, Mourning, Rice, Larry Johnson. A lot of guys are terrific players.
And that is an offensive foul. Foul on Skinner. And here's Jamal reporting back in.
You thought it might take him a long time. We'll question just how productive he could be. He started right away by hitting that foul line jump shot, going back to the side of the floor he likes the best, the left, and then turning away from the defense, one of the trademark shots of Jamal Mashburn.
He is 5 for 8, 11 points, all the scoring in the first quarter. McGlure off a nice one-hop pass from Moiso.
The last game, he never seemed to have that clean of a look. That's what happened in game number 3 when New Orleans won. They kept finding their inside people for clean, open shots. It was not the same in game number 4. Everything seemed congested and cluttered in there. The moves were hard to make.
Yes, Derek Coleman seemed to have the clamps on McGlure. Thomas not able to hit. And the ball is deflected out. Last touch by the Hornets.
Moiso got a piece of Van Horn's shot and blocked that initial jump shot.
And now here comes Derek Coleman for Brian Skinner.
Paul Silas has applauded the performance of Coleman in this series against McGlure. He said basically he's just outsmarting the youngster. He's got years of experience on it, and he's using it against him.
McGlure thus far tonight, 8 points, 5 rebounds. Timeout taken. 6:06 to go in the first half.
The NBA playoffs on TNT, brought to you by Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Cold, down, easy. And Wendy's Classic Hamburgers. It's better here.
Welcome back to Philadelphia, where the 76ers are in a very close game, and I'm joined by two of my guys who are representing Philadelphia, who has 2 sports teams right smack dab in the middle of playoffs. And first and foremost, unfortunately, the Flyers, Mike, lost last night, but which sport has the hottest ticket right now?
The hottest ticket right now is the Sixers ticket. Everybody want to see the Sixers go to the second round. Everybody. The whole town is cracking.
Now, looking at this close game, Game 5, can the 76ers close out the Hornets?
I'm sure they can. They're going to close it right here tonight. They're going to do it tonight.
All right, let's send it back to you, Marvel. I'm going to sit up here and enjoy some popcorn and peanuts. Y'all take care of the business down there on the floor.
Sure, we were going to suggest that. Yes. And Lazar would like a bag of peanuts on the way back. Flyers resume their series with the Ottawa Senators. They're back here tomorrow night. Flyers up 2-1. McGlure not able to hit. Now being played by Coleman, and Snow is on it. Hornets up by 3 points. Here's Van Horn. And the shot clock was not operating. See Baron Davis complaining. Coleman gets inside. He's rejected. And last touch by the 76ers. And the Sixers had about 35 seconds on that possession, I have to say.
Yeah, Barron was pointing to Jimmy Clark, the trail official in the back. Caught the drift of what Barron was trying to get at, but it was too late to check. By that time, they'd resumed.
76ers just 1 for 9 for the field in the second quarter. Mashburn. Good hustle. And Thomas came up with it. Here comes Snow. Regroup.
It's an extra step or two.
Yeah. Thomas. So the 76ers are within 1.
That's how you run a fast break. You probe. If it's not there, you take your time, you're patient, you let the rest of the people run their spots, and then sometimes you wind up with a late break, which is still part of the transition game.
Allen Iverson getting set to check back in. Coleman got a piece of it. Nice fadeaway by Lynch, his second field goal. Hornets 41 and the Sixers 38. New Orleans Hornets try to stay alive in this series, hoping to bring it back to New Orleans for a Game 6 on Friday night. Here's Coleman for 3. Derek Coleman, who did not enjoy thinking about playing in the center position when he was in Charlotte at that time, before they moved to New Orleans, has volunteered to play that spot for Larry Brown this season and done extremely well. He's a small center, but he gives you that perimeter game. Down on Moiso. I think Larry did a nice salesmanship job.
Yes, he did.
In that regard.
Well, remember, it's the last year of Coleman's contract. Larry said, we can use you to be a different kind of center. In the East, you won't be overpowered. That's Larry's job, is to be a salesman at times, to convince them. And Coleman was willing to cooperate, and it's been very, very successful, obviously, for them. If Coleman has a good year, hopefully he'll be rewarded with a new contract, a good contract, that he'll be happy with.
Are you Are you negotiating for him? Hopefully?
I am his agent. I forgot to tell you that. Well, what do you want me to wish him a bad contract?
No, but the word hopefully is like you're rooting for the good contract. All right, Kenny Thomas at the line with the Hornets over the foul limit. Did you say hopefully the Hornets will give Jerome Moiso a good contract? No.
We never got to that point in the statement, in the dialogue.
Although Jamal Mashburn had pointed out that he, to Jerome, that he could be a, what is it, $100 million?
$100 million. I just hope that Nash isn't doing the negotiating for the Hornets.
Just under 4 minutes remaining in the first half, and the Sixers lead by 2. Long feeling for Coleman, and then draws the foul.
You saw the trap come, the double team. He started to put it down, and it was almost more like he said to himself, oh, I made a mistake. As soon as he put it down and the double team came, he tries to pick it up right away. Watch. Right there, he puts it down. He sees the next guy coming, tries to find the handle, but is fouled.
That is number 3 on Coleman, and he is replaced by Hill. Eric Coleman has not been able to stay on the floor, sits down with 3 points and the 3 fouls. Coming up on Friday on ESPN or up in the air. Here are the possibilities. Detroit at Orlando, Philadelphia, New Orleans, Sacramento, Utah, Dallas, and Portland. It all depends on what takes place tonight.
Kind of messes our travel plans up a little bit, doesn't it?
That was ESPN unless you signed on.
No,
the game's on Friday.
No, what I meant the games that are going on. It doesn't help us know where we're going to be.
All right, Thomas, that's the roll. Don't try and trade me away now. I mean, you can show up at these games on Friday. I'm sure they'll be happy to say hello, sit down at the broadcast position. See what happened. Refuse to leave. P.J. Brown and a foul. Brown looking for an offensive foul, but it's against the 76ers. And P.J. heads to the line and foul on Tyrone Hill.
Nice pass by Mashburn. This is how it's supposed to be. Dunk the ball on top of the big man and don't allow him to make a layup. From both sides of it, you got what you want. A big man trying to dunk it to finish it. The defensive player not allowing him to have an easy layup in the playoff game.
6 points for Brown. So the Hornets are down by 1. Iverson and Snow at the guards. Thomas with Hill and Van Horn up front.
Mashburn playing Snow right now out front, takes a little bit of the pressure off. Mashburn, Snow not known to be real aggressive as a scorer.
Here's Snow with the shot clock running down. Eric Snow with a second field goal is 4 points. Eric Snow coming off a terrific game on Monday night. He broke out and been having a very quiet series, but at 17 points, 12 assists. Mashburn off the stick. They're trying to one-hand it, and as a result, Brown wrestled it free, and Brown was successfully able to get the timeout call, as he was indicating to the official, Jim Clark. So the Hornets will talk it over with 2:24 remaining here in the first half. As we head to commercial break. Back in a moment.
We're back with the Sixers leading the Hornets 47-44, 2:24 remaining. Let's take a look at how concerned Mashburn is about the broken finger on his right hand. Mashburn playing defense right there is splitting the difference between 2 offensive players. He'll make a decision which one he's going to rotate to in a second once the ball comes out. As we see right here, ball's passed out to Keith Van Horn. Now, knowing that Van Horn is going to throw a pass across the floor to his teammate, normally you get your right hand up in that passing lane to get a piece of it and try and deflect it. But he's so concerned, Mashburn just leaves the hand down. The pass is completed across to Snow, who in turn hits the jumper for Philly.
Crowd reacting as the 76ers took the court. Hornets up by 3 with 2 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the first half. And Tyrone Hill able to take it away. And a technical foul is called.
Baron Davis got the technical, I'm pretty sure. After he drove baseline and was in that trap, Davis felt there was too much contact. He wanted to call. Danny Crawford gave him a call. He gave him a technical. Here's where he's just up in the eighth. Up that bump on Tyrone Hill is where he should have got the foul call.
Eric Snow will shoot the technical. It took Eric Snow until the middle of the season to recover from a series of stress fractures and ankle surgeries that bothered him throughout. And after the Sixers' 2001 run to the NBA Finals, finally the feeling is he is comfortable. Minor bumps and bruises have been healed.
So Larry Brown walk up along the sideline and talk to Danny Crawford. Larry's concern could have been, hey, Danny, couldn't you wait till later to call the technical after our fast break was done?
It's one of those calls that it nullifies with his team on the move. Now here's Davis for three. And now Snow trying to unload to Iverson, but it's a kick ball.
Good job of getting that leg out there and kicking it, because Davis chased his own shot after it and it left New Orleans shorthanded in the backcourt. That was a 3-on-2 situation, but the kick saved the layup.
John, earlier, as we often do, when you're involved, we were talking NHL playoffs, and we erroneously pointed out
we did not erroneously.
Flyers had a 2-1 lead at the Ottawa Senators at front, 2 games to 1. Foul is called. Allen Iverson will head to the line. We're a team here, John. We are.
And you also made fun of me about a week ago when I talked about New Jersey, the Devils, and that they were hitting the puck well. They have scored a lot of goals.
Iverson. Allen Iverson with 14. The crowd I had not heard very frequently in NHL circles.
They've scored 9 goals in the first 3 games. Yes, they're striking it well.
It's not a lot of goals. Here is Lips for 3, and away from the ball on the floor, and Hill getting involved, and Dan Crawford with a warning for Tyrone Hill, and then Eric Snow comes over to try to cool him down. Foul is called on Hill, his second, and now a technical foul. Too late, and Iverson and Snow are both upset with their teammate Tyrone Hill. They're really upset.
Yeah, and Larry Brown may make a substitution just to get him out of the game. If you're going to cost your team points on the floor, and there's no place for you out there, you cannot lose control of yourself. Substitution coming in, Skinner for Hill.
See the reaction of Iverson and Snow. Right in the face of Hill, but Brian Skinner cuts back in.
These Sixers understand they want to end this thing. They do not want to go back to New Orleans for a game number 6. And they want to put this thing away tonight.
Foul's called on Skinner as McGlure got position. And now both teams are over the foul limit. 76ers in the midst of a 12-3 run. Up by 6, their biggest lead of the night. And McGlure at the line, 3 for 4. Now the Sixers would like to wrap it here and then be able to wait for the winner between Orlando and Detroit. 76ers now lead by 5. 1 minute remaining in the first half. Iverson. Skinner rejected. And last touch by the Sixers.
Ward did a good job. He blocked this one from behind just when it looked like Skinner had an easy layup. Rejected by McGlure.
Davis accelerates. Crawford says stay right here. The call against the 76ers.
Iverson is underneath the rim after the drive, and as the big men have contact on the inside, you'll see what happens right here. Iverson standing there is hit right in the face by the left elbow of McLaughlin. That has got to hurt.
Foul committed by Stowe to put McLaughlin back at the line. Hornets now 10 of 15 at the foul line. How about Philadelphia? 18 of 19 at the line of this first half. Now Aaron McKee comes back, replacing Brian Skinner.
I mentioned Marvin, Philly can lock it up tonight. They move on and play the winner of the Orlando-Detroit series. And interestingly, against those teams in the regular season, Philadelphia is 2-2 against both Orlando and Detroit.
Iverson, rebounded by Mashburn. Iverson out 4 for 12 from the field. A 4-second differential now between the game clock and the shot clock as this first half comes to a conclusion. Out of 10 seconds in the half. 5 on the 24. Mashburn. There's McKee. Snow. This would count. Well, the Hornets without a field goal the last 4.5 minutes. And Allen Iverson still not able to find the touch that we saw in game number 1 when he exploded for 55 points. It's the Sixers 50 and the Hornets 47 here at First Union Center in Philadelphia. Now let's go to our studios in Atlanta. Here's Ernie Johnson. Ernie? Game number 6 on Friday night as we welcome you back to Philadelphia. Marv Albert with the Czar, Mike Fratello, along with Cheryl Miller, Jamal Mashburn. The story certainly going into tonight's game, the surprising development that he was back in action despite that dislocated finger. Came out on fire, hit 5 of his first 6 from the field, but since then 0 for 5. He has been very quiet.
He made those 5 field goals in the first 9 minutes of the game, got off to a great start. But to me, what's interesting is as Mashburn has come out and had such a great performance, the disappearance of Baron Davis from the Hornets offense, just 1 for 6 in 17 minutes for Baron Davis. Meanwhile, on the other side, you got Philadelphia with 3 players in double figures. Neither team exactly knocking down shots tonight.
No, it was not a thrilling first half as we take a look at the Jeep game summary, and both teams at about 39% from the field. The Hornets 17 for 44, and the Sixers 15 of 39. Philadelphia doing damage at the foul line, 18 of 19 at the line, and once again Philadelphia out rebounding New Orleans. That was the story in game number 4. Mashburn leading the way for the Hornets with 11. Allen Iverson again has not shot well, just 4 for 12 from the field.
But you can see he's mixing up the perimeter game, and it's interesting. People say, why does Iverson always pull up and shoot jumpers when he can get to the basket all the time? Well, it seems like he may get to the basket all the time, but in the night when he had 55 points and he shot 21 for 32, it was a mixture of drives, outside jumpers, no three-point attempts thus far for Allen Iverson.
So the second half is underway. The Sixers have a 3-point lead. Iverson and Snow open up in the backcourt, and Eric Snow able to knock it down. That's his second field goal. He has 7. The Sixers 52 and the Hornets 47. Baron Davis and David Wesley in the backcourt. Jamal Mashburn, P.J. Brown, Jamal on the floor. Up front, a very quiet first half for Wesley. Played the first 7 minutes, and that was it. Davis's shot blocked by Thomas. And here comes Snow. Hornets get back, and Snow pulls it back. Thomas for Van Horn. And he is fouled. And a very strong ball game for Keith Van Horn.
You know, Marv, in the last game, Davis was a leader out on the floor. Here he seems very indecisive. That time, he just decides to launch a jump shot, which is blocked by Thomas, which gets them off in transition for the 76ers. He was assertive last game. He was a leader on the floor. He was a leader on the bench. Now suddenly you see him backing off. I don't know if early calls got to him, got his head out of the game, but Baron Davis needs to reestablish himself in this game if New Orleans is going to have a chance.
16 for Van Horn, 13 of the 16 in the first quarter.
So this New Orleans team is a very good team when all the pieces do the things that they are supposed to be doing. That means Wesley spotting up and shooting jump shots, not trying to overhandle the ball, Mashburn being the primary scorer, Davis creating and scoring when needed and playing defense, and then the big people getting on the glass.
Baron Davis forcing that scoop shot. Derek Coleman playing with the 3 fouls. And back comes Davis. Let's check in with Cheryl Miller. Cheryl?
Thanks a lot, Marvin. Michael, Coach Silas said that #1 emphasis is keeping the turnovers down in the second half. Shut down the 76ers. Dribble penetration. He said, I hate to sound like a broken record, but we got to continue to pound the boards. Coach Brown said that he was extremely pleased, Czar, with Van Horn's assertiveness at the offensive end with 14 points. Second half, let's concentrate on getting to the foul line and pounding the boards as well, guys.
Paul Silas taking a timeout. Actually, the Hornets with only 4 turnovers in the first half. That was a problem area in the previous game. We'll be right back.
TNT, brought to you by Hyundai. When your car comes with America's best warranty, you win. And Burger King. The sourdough bacon cheeseburger is back for a limited time at Burger King.
Well, this is the first of our playoff tripleheader. Will be followed by Portland at Dallas. And then in Game 3, TNT's late-night game, Utah will be at Sacramento. Kings with a 3-1 lead and looking to wrap it up. Czar, an unusual timeout. The Hornets actually had a private huddle during that timeout.
You know what? I like what Paul Silas did. P.J. Brown with the drive and the layup. Paul Silas started to talk to the team, turned, may have said something briefly, but walked away from the team. He was disgusted. You know, there are times when you know your team is just not listening to you. They don't want to hear you. You can only say so much, so many times. And then it's up to them to listen and respond. When Silas walked away from the team down the sideline, the players suddenly jumped up. They took 2 steps out on the floor. They regrouped by themselves. Baron Davis was barking some things out. A couple other guys were barking some things out. We'll see what happens now with their energy level.
That field goal by P.J. Brown stopped a 6.5-minute drought. The Hornets went over 6.5 minutes without a field goal. Sixers had a 16-6 run in that stretch. Keith Van Horn again from downtown. He now has 19 points. It's a high for Van Horn in this playoff series. That's his second 3. He's 5 for 10 overall. McGlure, and he draws the foul. Sixers had gone 6 minutes without a field goal early in the second quarter. And the foul on Snow, that's his 3rd. McGlure spending time at the foul line. He's 6 of 8. 12 points, 7 rebounds for McGlure. Foul in his 3rd year out of Kentucky, the first Hornets center in the 15-year history of the franchise who has started all 82 games.
This is one of those times when you look back and you can't take trades back, obviously, or deals back that you've done. But you look back right now and you wonder if Elvin Campbell were healthy and if he were here right now, would it be a little different story for the Hornets down inside. Another offensive option to go to, another big guy on the glass, a 7-footer.
That will count, and the foul. Allen Iverson gets the continuation call.
more people would like to see Iverson take it to the basket more often. He does such a great job of getting by defensive players. When you get to the rim, you can score, you can get fouled, or if you miss, you can have a teammate follow it back up and in.
Foul on Wesley, three-point play for Iverson. And the 76ers now lead by 10. Iverson and Wesley making contact. Iverson trying to draw the foul. Mashburn with the lead, and McClure puts it down.
He's getting back to it. That's a technical foul right there on Allen Iverson.
And now Keith Van Horn looking to settle down Allen Iverson, who earlier was upset with Tyrone Hill for picking up a technical. Iverson felt he was fouled a moment ago as he hit the floor, and then had something to say to the official, Monty McCutcheon.
Come on, go back to the beginning of the game. Remember early on, Iverson ran up to deny Wesley the ball, playing defense on full court pressure, and Wesley kind of knocked him to the floor at that time. And again, it was Wesley that put Iverson down. This time, Iverson said a little too much. The official responded.
So the 76ers up by 7. Philadelphia hoping to wrap the series here at home, while the Hornets hope to take it back to the Big Easy for a game on Friday. Shot clock to 5. Here's Thomas. And again, Iverson felt the contact. He was shoved by Wesley as they were headed up court.
Wesley's gone after him. I mentioned earlier in the series, Wesley is a tough guy. He's a strong guy. He's a physical guy. He's not afraid of anybody. He does not back off you.
Iverson shooting over Wesley. Iverson just said to Jim Clark, he pushed me.
I want to go back to that Eldon Campbell thing we talked about, Mark, for a second. Some glorious play here. See, this is a big series as Wesley launches a jumper and misses. It's a big series for McClure because without Campbell there now, the pressure's on him to produce at the center position.
And away from the ball, the foul on Thomas, who got involved with McClure.
And for McClure, you know, he's a youngster as far as playoffs are concerned. You don't have Campbell there to turn to. There you see Thomas trying to establish low post position, offensive foul. Go back a little bit ago, Iverson now coming down the floor. There's that left arm by Wesley pushing him off. Iverson's been getting beaten today, Wesley.
The Eldon Campbell deal, incidentally, involved Kenny Anderson, who was acquired from the Seattle Sonics right at the trade deadline, and Jamal Mashburn, who has not hit in some time, is able to knock it down from three-point land.
Yeah, and in fairness, Eldon Campbell had knee surgery. He had not worked real hard to get himself back in the kind of shape he should have. It's a free agent year for Campbell. They thought he would really work to show what a contributor he could be. He didn't seem overly excited about contributing too much. They got Kenny Anderson, who could be a safety valve for Davis in case he got hurt, and also another guy whose contract is up at the end of the year was Kenny Anderson. So the salaries match, that was the trade-off.
Hornet showing some signs. Nice pass for Mashburn. That counts. And the foul. The 76ers have led by as many as 10. And here are the Hornets down by 2.
So Paul Silas walking out of that timeout might have been just the thing to wake these guys up and make them realize that they weren't playing as hard as they could, that they weren't playing with the intensity that their head coach wanted. And just by not saying anything, walking away and leaving them on their own, Silas has gotten the message across.
We're not able to complete the three-point play, but it's a two-point game with 5 minutes gone by in the third. Coleman has not been a factor. He's been in foul trouble. Snow is fouled by Davis. Aaron Davis collects his third. Aaron Davis has not been able to get into it here tonight. Shooting only 1 of 8 from the field.
Only 2 free throw attempts, 1 for 8 from the floor. He has 7 assists, but Aaron Davis not the same player we saw really taking over the game and asserting himself last one out.
A reminder, tomorrow on the TBS Superstation, it's doubleheader Game 6 action starting at 7. Pacers down 3 games to 2 to the Celtics, followed by the Spurs with a 3-2 lead going up against the Suns. 7 And over on TNT right here, it's the Nets looking to end the series against the Bucks, followed by the T-Wolves and the Lakers. We'll be at the Food Center in Boston. The Indiana Pacers able to hang in with that overtime victory over the Celtics last night at Conseco. Thomas with the steal.
That overtime period might be the first shutout this year in the NBA playoffs in an overtime period that neither team might score.
At one point, it appeared to be a 1-0 edge in overtime. Crowd reacts with a sarcastic response as David Wesley is called for that pushing foul. The Hornets for their 14th foul. And a timeout called. 6:13 remaining in the third, and the Sixers have a 4-point lead.
6:13 remaining in the third. Sixers up 64-60. Iverson blows by Wesley and one. Three-point play. Lower part of the screen is the shove that Iverson been complaining about that he drew a technical on. This time he decides to square up, face up, and then instead of driving, I'll just shoot this one right in his face.
And as the Sixers break the huddle and step back on, this crowd urging them on. It's a 4-point 76er lead. They've led by as many as 10. Shot clock is down to 6. Down to 2. 1. Snow. And it's a 24-second violation.
Snow was hoping that little fake would get Davis up in the air, that he could jump into him to pick up the foul. Instead, Davis did a pretty good job of avoiding him. A bad shot that time by Snow. But the clock was running down, so he had to get it up there.
It has been a very quiet night for the backcourt combination of Baron Davis, David Wesley. Here's Jamal Mashburn. And they get the new shot clock. What an outstanding performance by Jamal McLaurin.
Really accepted the challenge of the last game. Was very disappointed. That's what Wesley can do. That's where he's the biggest contributor. The fact that he can hit those spot-up jump shots, reset, cuts down his turnovers, know you roll, get him the ball where he's most effective. Wesley 3 for 5 from the floor right now.
It's a 1-point game. So the Hornets have come roaring back in this third quarter. They picked it up defensively. And Horn. 76ers having difficulty finding shots.
Whoa, there's 11 rebounds. You just mentioned what a game he's having. He has answered the challenge of his head coach, answered the disappointment of the last game against the Phillies front line.
Davis, yes. Baron Davis has given the Hornets a 65-64 lead, and for Davis, only his second field goal.
Well, you know, you kind of criticize the guard play of New Orleans, and they respond with 2 field goals, Wesley and Davis.
They've been listening very closely. McClure had the wraps on Coleman, and a foul is called. So that's 2 on McClure, and New Orleans now over the foul limit. The Hornets in front for the first time since late second quarter. They had a 41-38 lead. Here's Derek Coleman, who has not been a contributor tonight. Allen Iverson, who has not shot well since that opening game when he hit for 55 points, showing some signs in the third quarter, but not seeing much of the ball. Last few minutes, hit his first 2 shots of the quarter.
He has gotten to the free throw line. 7 for 7 from the line. He has 3 assists and still has 19 points.
So the Sixers up by 1. And the ball back to the 76ers.
How many times, Mark, have we seen in the games thus far where the guards bring the ball down too close to the sideline for New Orleans? Philly comes over and traps them, and then they either have to use a timeout or get a turnover out of it. You understand Philly's going to do that. Keep the ball towards the center of the floor, and then veer off later on to go to the side you want to go to.
Aaron McKay, yes. Nice return pass from Allen Iverson to set it up to McKay.
That was designed by Larry Brown, something they picked up off the tapes, that when Iverson comes off the curl, the man on top needs to move away quickly. If Iverson gets him the ball back immediately, that man will have a wide open shot because the help defense stays too long for the Hornets.
That's on Mashburn forced the issue. Last touch by the Sixers, so 5 on the shot clock for the Hornets. Says that Jamal McGlow stepped out of bounds, had the foot on the baseline, so the ball back to Philadelphia. Larry Brown going with the 3-guard set. He has McKee, Iverson, and Snow. The big men are Coleman and Van Horn. Coleman coming up on 3 minutes remaining of the third. They coming up on Davis. Here's P.J. Brown with that line drive shot.
You can see the effort Philadelphia's made to keep Baron Davis's penetration down from last game. They've done a good job. As a result, Davis reads it, throws back to the man that set the screen. There's the jump.
76ers by 1. Iverson. And Davis now pushes it down. Lost the dribble off his foot. And a jump ball is called.
See if they put it in Coleman and Davis's hands or whether they go to Snow and Davis on the jump ball.
Aaron Davis, who has been slowed by sore knee, sprained right ankle, missed 32 games during the course of the regular season, and then with the bone bruise on the knee. Let's take a look at the last play. Who should be involved with this jump ball?
That could have been either one of them. Danny Crawford comes in late, and he says that it's going to be same size against each other.
And controlled by Mashburn. Got picked off by McGlow. Mashburn working hard for the shot. Rebounded by Brown. He's scored by P.J. Brown.
He had the opportunity right there to finish it off with a dunk. You see Snow lose his footing, but he's some tough guy, boy. Right back up with it.
And now McGlow pitches it down. Here's Davis looking to serve, but he stepped out. So the ball back to the 76ers.
2 opportunities here. The layup by P.J., a fast break opportunity that was a little bit too long for Baron Davis to run down. 2 scoring chances for the Hornets.
Tyrone Hill and Kenny Thomas getting set to check back in. We're down to 2:15 remaining in the third quarter, and the Sixers holding on to a 1-point lead. Melvin with his arm, Mike Capello, Cheryl Miller, the first one in center in Philadelphia. Game 5 of this best of 7 Eastern Conference quarterfinal series. The Sixers up 3 games to 1. Van Horn, P.J. Brown gambled, went for the steal. Van Horn took advantage, so he has 21 points.
P.J. missed, McGlow just not there in time to try and block the shot.
Mashburn, yes. Jamal Mashburn has 17 points.
Turns to that right shoulder. That's his favorite shot. He gets a rhythm that way, protects the ball a little bit from the defensive man. He gets that thing going. He can knock him down on a regular basis.
Sixers by 1. Iverson gets very slowly here in the third. You can see the touch returning for Iverson. Eric Coleman switches out on David Wesley. Just under 1 minute remaining in the third quarter. Shot clock to 6. Davis looking at the clock. McGlow. Coleman to sweep it away from Brown.
goes quick, he'll get a 2-for-1 situation for the Sixers.
Well, Iverson went quick, and that is now a 2-for-1 scenario with a half minute remaining in this third quarter. The Sixers now lead by 5. Davis, what a move by Baron Davis. 3 hesitations off the dribble and was able to score.
I think they just called a delay a game against New Orleans. Remember, the second delay a game is a technical foul, so I'd rather not have that take place at this particular time.
Now the Sixers will hold for a final shot of the third quarter as we come up on 10 seconds remaining. The ball put in the hands of Iverson. Down to 5 seconds. Up to the crossover, but Wesley took it away. David Wesley. That would have counted.
He got his hand down low, anticipating the crossover. They did not want Iverson to go to his right. They wanted to force him left where they had a help man at the corner of the foul line. Good job that time by Wesley getting the hand in.
3 quarters complete here in Philadelphia. It's the 76ers up by 3.
Welcome back to Philadelphia, where the 76ers have a 3-point lead. I am joined by the general manager, Billy King, and first and foremost, talk about Keith Van Horn. Been quiet in the series, 21 points right now.
Well, tonight he came out aggressive. I thought he was aggressive the last 2 games, just didn't get shots to fall. I think tonight, watching him warm up, he was really determined to come out and try to give some more offense.
It was official that Allen Iverson is now on the Olympic team. A lot of people out there, Billy, wondering why did it take so long for his selection?
Well, I mean, he was considered amongst the first players, but I think as the process going, we were building a team. And I think all along he was going to be on the team.
This game reminds you of the heavyweight fight?
It does, it does. Hopefully it doesn't come to a split decision.
All right, thanks a lot for your time. So send it back to you, Marvin Mike.
I'm Billy King, an assistant coach for the Indiana Pacers under Larry Brown for 4 seasons. Outstanding defensive player at Duke University on the highly ranked teams in the late 1980s, and now the GM of the Philadelphia 76ers. Fourth quarter is underway here in Philadelphia, and the Sixers lead by 3.
New Orleans has to be careful right now. They've got a couple of inexperienced players on the floor there. Iverson goes to the basket and just doesn't get the roll. You got inexperience out there, tractor trailer, Moiso. You got a guy in Lynch who's really struggled to make a shot. Wesley's been turnover prone, so where are they going to get their scoring from?
Miscommunication on that pass between Iverson and Williams. Baron Davis trying to break down court. Sixers a bit slow to react. Wesley for 3. Rebounded by Moiso, and he is fouled as both Hill and Thomas made contact. It is Thomas on the foul. That's number 4. And Moiso will go to the line. We'll check in with Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studios.
Yeah, thank you very much, Marv. There's the man who authored the famous phrase, both teams played hard, Rasheed Wallace, preparing for Game 5 of the Portland-Dallas series. Also, we have learned that Sheed will be joining the czar on the lecture circuit in the offseason.
Yes. I think that would be an excellent combination.
They take a shot at me again.
I believe it would be interpreted as that.
There's more games, you know. Many games remaining on our schedule.
Sixers now lead 74. 73. Here's Iverson for 3. Way off. It was a rocket shot off glass. Wesley wide open.
You know what's disappointing? Just yesterday, I was looking at Ernie's bobblehead, thinking about what a great resemblance there was. And he comes out, takes a shot out.
You through? Hornets by 1. Monty Williams. Rebounded by Jerome Moiso. Remember, Moiso had a spectacular game in Game 3, the victory by the Hornets in New Orleans, one-time property of the Philadelphia 76ers, though he never played for Philly. Tractor trailer on a catch and shoot that did not work.
It's the third or fourth opportunity that they've had on shots that are inside or highly makeable shots that they have not finished for New Orleans.
Pass intended for Thomas. Trailer comes up with it.
Oiso did a good job of coming around, getting on the top side, getting arm in the passing lane, and deflecting the ball. And perhaps the reason that Silas has this combination on the floor is so that Baron Davis can get off a little bit at the offensive end.
A rainbow fired up by Davis. Oiso able to come down with it. And they have the fresh clock. Yes, it's David and Wesley. Davis and Wesley in the backcourt with the trailer, Oiso, Lynch up front. Here's Davis for three. He has been off. Rebounded by Thomas. Baron Davis, 3 for 13. And the call away from the ball. It is on Wesley. Timeout is taken with 8:58 remaining in the fourth, and the Hornets with a 75-74 lead on the 76ers. Well, here's a look at tonight's Lammas Hill Lessons in Footwork.
It's going to be Baron Davis that gives you a lesson. There's a little hesitation dribble. Start to go, pull back, and then change pace and get into the seam, up, and avoid the big man stepping up, laying it in for Baron Davis. Some fancy footwork.
Baron only 3 for 13 from the field.
You mentioned the poor shooting night. Coming into the game this evening, Baron Davis from the three-point line mark was 10 for 24, 41%, almost 42%. Tonight, 0 for 5 from the three-point line.
But a slow start here in the fourth quarter for the 76ers. They're 0 for 4 from the field. They've turned it over twice. They have yet to score over these first 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Snow. Hornets have trailed by as many as 10. Now lead it 75-74. Ashburn for 3. Rebounded by Davis. And now the Sixers on the run. Meanwhile, Hill and Trailer get involved. It's a double foul.
Tyrone Hill's lucky that his arm didn't get hurt on that one. He got tangled up with Trailer. Trailer actually spun that arm all the way around. I'm surprised that Hill was not injured the way that thing looked right there. But a double foul called by the official. Both players locked up with each other. You see him get tangled underneath the basket. There's Tyrone Hill going for the block. Again, they jump for the ball. Back underneath it. That's where they get tied up.
Both players trailing the play. And the double foul assessed. Iverson trying to lose Alexander. Thomas with the kick.
Now, there's one of those missed shot assists that Larry Brown talked about, and I also brought up, and you criticized Scott. It's not really missing.
Sixers up by 1. So you're saying when a guy puts the ball up on the rim and misses, he should receive an assist? Is this a new type category that you have developed?
Type of assist. You have to understand.
Certain type. Lynch able to hit the 3, and the Hornets now lead at 78-76. So a missed shot assist. That will be the new category.
MSA. You ask your big men up front if they like guys letting it roll off right into their hands for second shot opportunities.
That would be a missed shot, not assist.
Not assist, right? MSNA.
Davis being fouled by Iverson. Lynch again for 3. Rebounded by Snow. Got tripped up. Hornets get back. Iverson mishandled. And was able to recover. The Hornets showing a lot of heart here. Looking to avert elimination. Here in Philadelphia, they're leading the Sixers 78-76. Seeking to send it back to New Orleans for a 6th game on Friday. Snow with make the save and put it between the legs of Mashburn. Iverson is fouled. 2 shots, says Dan Crawford.
Because there's no one between Iverson and the basket from the other team, so he's awarded 2 shots on that. It's a breakaway layup. It's the hustle right here. This is what happened last game. One guy goes on the floor, another guy doesn't go. Who comes up with it? The team whose player went on the floor to get the basketball. Iverson with no one in front, clear path to the basket, will receive 2 free throw attempts.
And the 76ers thriving at the foul line, 25 of 26 at the line. Iverson has hit all 7 attempts. Good job, Morris. Way to bring it up. Make it 7 of 8. Well, Major League Baseball returns to TBS Friday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Atlanta Braves take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. That'll be Friday night at 10 o'clock. As you see, 6:38 remaining in the 4th quarter. And the Hornets maintain the 2-point lead.
25 to 26. Suddenly Iverson goes to the line, misses 2. On the other end, New Orleans has missed 8 free throw attempts this evening, just 15 to 23.
Off the scramble, recovered by Arizo. Here's Lynch. George Lynch with his second 3 of this 4th quarter, and the Hornets now lead at 81-76.
Like Paul Silas told us prior to the game down in New Orleans, I'm probably the only coach in the league that will let Lynch shoot threes, but he makes them, so I let him shoot them.
George coming off the 2 of 11 in game 4. Shot clock down to 3, down to 2, down to 1, and it's a 24-second violation. Larry Brown wants to talk to his club.
On the closeout, Mashburn does a terrific job of getting up. He knows the clock is about to run out, challenges with the left, and gets the block.
A look at tonight's Bud Light headlines we checked around the NBA. You mentioned earlier, added to Team USA, Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, Jermaine O'Neal. Bobby Jackson has won the NBA 6th Man Award. And coming up, it's the Portland Trail Blazers and the Dallas Mavericks. Mavericks in front 3-1 of that series. And we're told Scottie Pippen is dressed, going through the pregame warm-ups, and will be back in action tonight. Dick Stockton and Jeff Van Gundy will have that for you, and I hope Jeff is all right. You know, he gets very confused with time changes. Made it from the West Coast, Dallas tonight. He has not been able to handle that well. That goes back to his coaching career.
He was confused then also? Yeah. I can't wait to hear that broadcast. Somebody else is taking a couple of shots at me tonight.
Hornets with an 81-76 lead. Here's Davis. Aaron Davis cannot find the range. And the Sixers just 1 for 9 from the field in this 4th quarter. 0 for 2 from the foul line, and they've turned it over twice. They've scored only 2 points thus far in the 4th. Iverson's pass picked off by Lynch. Hornets have outscored the Sixers 10-2 here in the 4th to jump in front by 5. It's their biggest lead of the night as they look to hang on in this best-of-7 playoff series. Lynch, he's had the hot hand, the one-time Philadelphia 76er, George Lynch. 5 for 7 for 12 points.
Coming off a 2 for 11 performance in the last game, and the confidence Mashburn showed by giving it up when he was double-teamed to Lynch on the baseline, who hits a huge baseline jumper.
Iverson with the step. Iverson, and that was not out of the basket. That will count. And the 76ers, with only their 2nd field goal of this 4th quarter.
New Orleans big men had their backs turned. They didn't see Iverson turn the corner initially. Weiser came over just a little too late to try and block that shot.
Combination on the floor for Paul Silas. Has done a good job, but that's an offensive foul.
I'm not sure. I think he may have stepped on the sideline, Marvin. The violation was stepping out of bounds.
He did. He stepped out. You're right. And the ball back to the 76ers.
Remember turnovers. Turnovers have been the killers for New Orleans in this series. They have the lead. They must make every possession a meaningful one. Get a shot attempt at the basket without turning it over.
Coming up on 4 minutes remaining on the fourth. Iverson pulls it back. Snow able to find the shot. And rebounded again by the Hornets. Lynch fires it down. Here's Davis. Rejected from behind by Coleman. And a foul called on McGraw.
What a play by Derek Coleman. First of all, it was a tremendous outlet pass to Baron Davis, who had run out on the shot attempt. It looked like it was going to be a clear breakaway layup, and Coleman comes from behind, locks it into the glass with his left hand without fouling. I think he surprised Baron Davis. Davis looks like he's saying, who is that came from behind to get it? It has ignited this entire crowd.
Remember, he did that earlier in this series. Now Coleman with the shot. Yes! So Coleman does it at the defensive end and comes back with the side jump to bring the Sixers within 3.
And Paul Silas wants a timeout right now. They are not calling it.
It's the old decoy Hornet timeout.
I'm not sure there was a decoy. He wanted him to get a timeout to silence his crowd and stop the run right there. They did not see him standing up calling for it.
Now foul is called. It is on Thomas. That's number 5 on Thomas. Remember, a couple of games back, I'm kidding when I say decoy, Silas stood up. This is back in game 3 in New Orleans, trying to call for a timeout. Hornets continue to play, and they scored.
Well, sometimes the guy with the basketball doesn't see it. He kept going that game and had a layup.
We're back in Philadelphia. The Hornets now lead by 3 a moment ago, led by as many as 7 points. 2 critical plays by Derek Coleman, and suddenly you get the feeling that the 76ers are back into it.
Well, they've got the crowd energized. First was a defensive play. Coleman blocking the shot off the glass. What looked like a breakaway dunk for Baron Davis. And as always happens, the guy who makes the great defensive play comes right back down, has the open jump shot, and Coleman buried the jumper.
Pressure on the inbounds, and it was deflected to the backcourt by one of the Sixers. But the shot clock is now down to 7. Davis trying to draw the foul, but Iverson stepped away, and that ball was caught out of bounds, so Philadelphia gets it back.
I thought clearly that was a foul. Paul Silas thought it was a foul. Davis thought it was a foul. He faked, got the defense up in the air, and then Allen Iverson landed on top of him. I thought that was clearly a foul, and it would have been 3 free throw attempts.
Baron Davis now 0 for 7 from the field. In the fourth quarter, overall 3 of 17. And now the call away from the ball. It's on Lynch as he and Van Horn by the position of the Hornets for their 4th team foul. So they headed to the penalty on their next call.
Here's the shot, Mark. The fake. Now watch Iverson as he comes down. It's clearly contact on his right arm.
2:45 to go in the fourth. Davis fell down. Iverson, he's tied the game. Iverson from downtown, and they are 83 all. See Baron Davis hobbling.
You can see it when he went down that time. He came up, tried to get back in his defensive stance, but he's hurting. Entry passes have been a problem. You have to throw short ones, and you have to meet the entry passes.
Mashburn right back. Jamal Mashburn in the face of Kenny Thomas, and Mashburn, playing with the dislocated finger, has now gone 8 of 18. He has 19 points. The Hornets lead by 2. Iverson around Davis, and he's tied it again at 85.
Larry Brown creates an isolation by clearing the wing through. Iverson's strong hand is his right hand. He puts a shooter in the corner. He wants Iverson to get that right seam and either score or kick it to the shooter in the corner.
Don, I don't know if Paul Silas can stay defensively with Baron Davis against Allen Iverson at this point.
Well, it's tough to have these people on the floor match up differently. Here you see Iverson's ability to turn the corner and then his ability to finish over the big man coming over.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta 10 minutes from now. Portland and the Mavs will tip it off in Game 5. Could be the clincher for Dallas. Scottie Pippen will not start for Portland, but is expected to try and play for just the second time in the series. Marvin Mike.
Philadelphia with a 9-2 run the last 2.5 minutes. 7 of those 9 Sixer points scored by Iverson. Sixers and Hornets tied at 85. Just under 2 to go. In the fourth quarter, the Hornets try to stay alive in this series. They want to bring it back to New Orleans for a Game 6. On Friday night, the Sixers hoping to wrap it here tonight. Mashburn is on. Rebounded by Lynch. No box out on George Lynch.
And that's why you've got to go with Davis on Iverson, because Lynch has been giving him so much, you can't afford to sit him down just to get somebody else in to guard Allen Iverson.
Lynch with 14, 10 of the 14 here in the fourth, and the Sixers down by 2. Holman. Yes! He had a foot on the line. It's a 2-pointer, and the game is tied at 87.
For both these teams in games decided by 3 points or less during the season, 8-6 for Philly, 7-7 for New Orleans.
We're approaching 1 minute remaining of the fourth. Mashburn with a series of moves. Lynch again! The one-time 76er who is known as a defensive stopper. An outstanding defensive player, not noted for his scoring, has come up with 16 here tonight, and the Hornets lead by 2. 50 seconds remaining of the fourth. Iverson able to shake off Mashburn and then lost his balance.
So tell me, isn't that the same effect as Iverson going to the basket, drawing people, and then somebody else offensive rebound? It's happened twice now for Lynch, where he's been the guy to pick up the garbage after penetration and a missed shot.
Half minute remaining of the fourth. Mashburn one-on-one going at Thomas. Shot clock running down, and Mashburn draws the foul.
There is a veteran player right there. A veteran guy who knows that he's got an inexperienced player on him, is a little bit nervous, exposed out in front of everyone, a one-on-one situation. He knows the clock's running down, anxious on defense. Thomas on the ball fake. Thomas is up right into a Mashburn to go to the free throw line.
And Kenny Thomas has fouled out. That'll put Jamal Mashburn at the line, an 85% free throw shooter, 1 for 2 tonight. We're down to 23 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, and Jamal Mashburn is tonight's Gatorade peak performer, and what a performance by a guy who is not expected to play because of a dislocated finger. He has extended the Hornets lead to 90-87, and a timeout called by the 76ers. 23.4. At First Union Center in Philadelphia. Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. They have a full and a 20. And the next foul will put each team into the penalty with 23 and 4/10 seconds to go.
Well, remember, during the regular season, Philadelphia at the bottom of the league, 28th in three-point field goal percentage, is 31%, 27th in three-pointers made per game. Their 2 best three-point shooters, Van Horn at 37%, McKee at 33%, but then again, you have Allen Iverson out there.
Mike Snow inbound, and Iverson looking for the 3. A quick shot by Iverson trying to tie it, and Snow takes the timeout.
How many times have we seen Snow beat the New Orleans people to the basketball? They had their hands on it, New Orleans. All they had to do was get the possession. Instead, Snow dives on the floor. A wide open look that time for Allen Iverson. On the loose ball, look, it's in one player's hand. A second player's right there, Mashburn. A little hesitant to go down with the bad hand. Who comes up with it? Snow.
Iverson had hit his last 3 shots from the field. There are different philosophies in this type of situation. Allen Iverson decided to take a quick three. Sometimes the team will go for the quick two and then commit a foul.
Well, I'm sure Larry Brown said, look, if you're wide open for a three, then take it and make it. If not, then take the penetration, because they still can score two and turn around and foul. New Orleans was shooting just 64% for the foul line tonight, just 18 for 25.
So 18 and 4/10 seconds remaining on the fourth. Hornets lead 90-87, and the Sixers will inbound.
A little defensive adjustment. Wesley on the floor as McGlure goes out.
Snow will throw in as Mashburn steps away to help. Iverson, now he takes it to the rim. He's trying to draw a foul. Cuts it down to a one-point lead. Here's pressure on the inbounds, and they give the foul. That will put Mashburn back at the line.
And they put it in the hands of a guy who, during the regular season, wound up shooting 85%. And this was Larry Brown's philosophy here. Take it quick to the basket. Maybe you'll get fouled on the layup attempt. Make sure you concentrate and make the layup. And now we're going to foul them immediately so that we get another possession and have a chance to tie the game or go ahead once again.
Mashburn receiving the treatment from this crowd. He's only 2 of 4 at the line. 76ers have one timeout remaining. 13.6 to go in the fourth.
Best free throw shooter on the team, Jamal Mashburn.
So Mashburn again hits 1 of 2, and it's a 2-point game. Down to 10 seconds. Iverson met by Lynch on a switch. Van Horn is stripped by Davis, and he is fouled. Keith Van Horn stripped by Baron Davis. 3 and 8/10 seconds remaining in the fourth, and the Hornets head back to the foul line.
Let's go back and take a look. There's a high pick and roll. New Orleans switches the pick and roll. Iverson goes right back to Van Horn. He was coming for an outside handoff. When Van Horn spins back, that's when he's stripped. Here comes Van Horn on the way back. There's the hand in by Lynch that strips him. Davis comes up with the ball. Different philosophies for different people. Larry Brown likes to catch teams in transition. He did not call a timeout after Mashburn made the free throw shot. They came right back with plenty of time on the clock and tried to get it in transition rather than let them set up their defense.
And Baron Davis calmly hits on both. So the trap by Davis and Lynch, as they were able to reach in and knock it away from Van Horn, and this crowd begins to file out.
The NBA playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by the Home Depot. Go from wondering how to knowing how at the Home Depot. You can do it. We can help. Sprite. Obey your thirst. Chili's. Like no place else. And Lamisil AT. The official athlete's foot treatment of the NBA.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. The Dallas Mavericks will try to avoid what's going on with the Philadelphia 76ers when they tip it off moments from now against the Portland Trailblazers. The Mavs with a chance to clinch back tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Ernie. 3.8 remaining on the fourth. Van Horn for 3. McKee able to lay it home, and that will do it. There will be a 6th game in New Orleans on Friday night. A stirring victory by the Hornets here in Philadelphia. They win it 93-91. The Sixers now lead the series 3-2. Jamal Mashburn with 21 points to lead the way. George Lynch with 16-12 in the fourth quarter. Allen Iverson finished with 30. For the Czar, Mike Fratello and Carol Miller, this is Marv Albert saying goodnight from Philly. Now let's go to Dick Stock.